Alright, everyone, Supreme Kami over here, and today I'm actually going to be doing a revisit of the operating base over here. So initially when this released, there's pretty much nothing you can kind of do with this. The only good thing about the operator base is going to give you like a permanent buffing upon how many seconds that elapsed, and then you get like a 1% buff for how many seconds that elapsed. They certainly do have like rubrics of like for how many seconds elapsed you get how many percentage over here. So here's generally the breakdown that we're looking at over here. And then in terms of this video over here, I'm not gonna re-explain how this actually works, but I'm gonna be talking about specifically for the arena users over here because that was something that I did not cover initially. So you guys can see that on the original days when this released back in July 2021. Basically, if you are able to hit 3,000 points right there, and then you can get that for every 4 seconds, you get a 1%, effective rate over here. So basically you can just have this prolong for like 8 seconds, 12 seconds, 16 seconds, 20 seconds whatsoever, and then you should be able to elapse like maybe like 5%, 6% whatsoever. So this more or less is treated as like a last resort when you're like feeling I need that extra kick, I need that extra boosting for my build because like I'm not really able to clear like the event or whatsoever. Because in terms of the operator base, you can kind of only use it in events where you can take on 3 of your allies. So if you talk about any 1v1, some limited time multi-mission boss, you just basically cannot really use it. So in terms of the usefulness of the operator base is very limited. So what they have decided after that, after the operator base has released for like I don't know, like a good couple of months, for example, they decided to use whatever the grade points that we have over here and then translate this into the arena 3 and 3. They basically take this as like a bonus point that you can add onto like your overall score, and that's pretty much what we've been facing with every kind of week. So that's pretty much like a detrimental thing to have, because if you talk about like a new player, for example, just anyone casual player don't really have that big of a box, they don't really have that many parts, they want to play good in arena, the 3 and 3 specifically, they just can't because I will have to say a good chunk of the score is literally gonna coming out from the operator base over here, because you're literally taking 3, you are taking 3 different attributes, and then you're gonna add all those 3 scores together, and that's gonna be like a chunk with that. So that's pretty much like a why would I do that? That's pretty much like a pay to win, for example, because well, in terms of like just getting this to use it as the operator base, we're not even talking about the free parts. These over here, like these plus 200, these are all submittable parts that I have accumulated throughout the week. So that's why every week there's like a brand new parts pool you can kind of get to get some bonus part. This week around, I was fortunate enough to get 10 new parts, so I slap it on there, and bam, extra 2,000 points added to my arena score. So in total, all 3 attributes looking at, you are gaining a total of 6,000 flat. Without, I didn't do anything. I basically just summoned and I got those 6,000 points for free. So in terms of the operator base used in arena, I feel like it's a very bad move on their part. I feel like it shouldn't even be there, because like there's not even like a skill base when you add that types of stuff. So people who are able to summon every week will definitely be able to get into the higher rankings. That is pretty much in every gacha game, in every competitive gacha game. But this one isn't really like competitive. I don't see why they need to do that. So in terms of my operator base for this week, I have racked up a 16,500. So this score right here is pretty much impossible to get if you don't have any featured parts. So, but if you're talking about, let's say you're not able to summon on a consistently basis, you don't have any new parts. How do I still compete? I think at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to what kind of parts you have in your box. At the end of the day, in terms of like filling out this overall roster over here, it's gonna take a lot of 99 like level 99 parts. That's given, but I'm not talking about any SoCap tier parts, because in terms of the majority part that I have used in all the operator base, they are pretty much event parts, those welfare parts, those 3-star parts, 2-star parts, because those parts are the easiest to get to level 99. So that's why in terms of like looking at my roster over here, this pile over there, 2-star pilots, this one here, this one, this one, they are pretty much all standard part and event part. So there's, in terms of actually working this, it's not that hard. But in terms of like a new player and player that doesn't have that many box space, for example, this is going to be really tough. And then the amount of resources that is actually dumped into this is absurd. Just upgrading parts to 6-star is kind of rough actually. But if I were to recommend you guys, at least have your part, let's say up to 80, like level 80. I think that should be a pretty good measurement in terms of like getting a good score. But I do like the fact that in terms of this one over here, like if you have parts up to level 99, it's actually does go towards your work rate anyway. So I do see them two kind of linking together in terms of like helping you out in terms of getting your overall job grade, not your job grade, your overall work rate up. So that's actually good. And then plus or minus, you are able to get your operator base up as well. So in terms of this week, I have already filled up this list. So let me do actually go on to the next week. So in terms of next week, we should be getting the same specific, like, so they usually go in chronological order. So this week we have for desert, so next week should be for tundra. So let me show you guys how it's actually done. If you talk about I don't really have any like brand new parts, I didn't summon for this week, but how am I still able to get up there? So so this is gonna be like a brand new roster for you guys over here. So starting out, we are gonna find a level, so keep that in mind, you have to do that for all three different attributes, but I'm only gonna be doing one over here, so that should be a pretty good example of how this actually works. So I'm gonna start things out with a pilot. So we'll actually just pick something on the roster that is, you know, free to play, 2-star, or even like those event part, 2-star, 1-star, 3-star, how whatever you want to call them. I'll actually pick the horror, so it doesn't really matter. Basically, you just need that level T right there, and that will basically translate into your grade points. So in terms of you guys looking at this over here, so for every week, so for every word tag you look like, these are going to be the 4 other word tag parts that you really need. So if you switch over to P attribute, they will want you to have P attribute for cycle type, and then they want you to have it for tech attribute as well as S attribute. So that's why in terms of filling up the operator base, it's a very consuming part kind of roster list over here that we look at. Like, so if you are like a new player, for example, or someone just don't have that roster list, this is going to be hard. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of the worst thing they could have done in terms of like adding like an additional bonus point. I just wish they would have done something else besides this, but you know, it's too late. It's definitely too late to complain, but all we can do, you just kind of work towards that. But you know, at the end of the day, you guys can definitely see that once we do rotate back to for computer, it will rotate back to protect, I assume. So at that point, I think in terms of like the intensiveness of like upgrading the operator should alleviate by a lot, because we have already gone to the process already. So it's just more or less going to be like improving upon that. So in terms of this one, so let me show you guys how this actually works. So in terms of what you want to fill out in this list, you primarily want to focus on one specific typing. So let's say for cycle type, I want to fill up everything by, for example, torso. So that should be the only thing that I want to focus on. I don't just want to randomly select, oh, let's say, oh, this one has the highest point, so let me use that, and that. No, you don't want to do that. So basically what I would do normally, I will usually filter out by, oh, let me see how many I have for head part, for example, and then how many I will have for, let's say, torso, and then basically pick one that has the highest amount, I would have to say. If not, I would actually go over to the event exchange shop. I'll actually see if there are any cycle type part that I can actually use. So what I basically do, if that situation happens to me, I will basically go over to the blueprint, and then I'll see if I can filter out anything like over here, this one over here. I'll see if I can filter out anything that has cycle type and P attribute, for example, and then there's actually nothing. So if we have that situation, what we'll actually have to do is just kind of stick to how, like, what is the, like, how much can we actually get. Like, I think the most I have was only 3 of the parts, so I'll just basically use that, and that should allow me to get 50 bonus points. So that's gonna be unfortunate right there, but that is what we will have to work with, unfortunately, right? Yeah, it's looking very bad actually. Okay, no, right? Yep. So 3 was probably the max. I can check the melee weapon. Nope, only 1. Range weapon, we are looking at only 2. And then for pilots over here, let me check the pilot. Pilots on 3, so we will just have to stick with this over here. So you guys can see that in terms of matching parts specifically, they will give you 50 bonus points for just having 3. In terms of the series matching over here, I believe you need at least 4 to 5. I think it was 4. I think you need at least 4 or 5 to have it to give you an additional 50 points. So that's why the best case scenario is definitely to have the same typing parts that will presumably give you the highest. So I also do want to check the series just to see if I can kind of match them together, because there are a certain situation where you can benefit from both the series matching and the type, the part type matching. So you'll be able to get 200 from this one over here. So that is like a very, very rare case over here, which we'll probably not get to. Since Sakuta doesn't really have that many parts, so I was planning to do this as well. Because in order to get more parts, you can also do what's something called the alternative attribute. So if you are able to get an alternative attribute, you will be able to get a further bonus point down all the way at the free or easy over here. The one that says same name slash different attribute. So that is another way you can get some additional point. I think we should be able to do something like that in terms of getting that same name, which we probably go do in a bit. So it looks like that. I can't really get anything else. So let me just kind of use this one right here, and then I'll just put another high level part right here. So for this purpose of this video, I'm not going to go ahead and upgrade everything to the max. I'm just simply going to show you guys how this actually works. So moving on to heavy armor, I feel like heavy armor does have another part. So let's see. The roster looks really big, so I think I'm gonna start things out by checking the alternative attributes. So let me see if we have anything. So it looks like we do. So that's actually a very good sign, I guess. So I'll see. All right, so that looks good. So let me check the other one as well. I just want to see what. Ooh, this one is looking pretty good as well. So you guys see all those different attributes. So what I can do, I'm just gonna show you guys one for now. Let me see. I'll use the L strike for example, and then down over here I can use the same attribute one as well. So I'll go over here and filter by seed, and then I'll filter by torso, and then I'll use the different attribute L strike. So it's gonna be the S attribute, and you guys can see with that I was able to gain an additional 100 for just having this. So this is pretty much like a basic procedure of how to actually have this work. I think the easiest way, if you guys don't care about how many points you're actually getting, you're feeling a little bit lazy that day, you don't want to actually do it by yourself, you can go ahead and use the single auto setting, and this right here will allow you to just kind of like auto build this, and bam, you don't have to pretty much do anything. But in terms of doing this manually, you can kind of see what kind of part you can actually use. So that is definitely a great way of handling that. So let me just kind of filter out by, I don't know, maybe more torso parts over here. Do I have more torso part that I have that is a different attribute? It looks like I don't. So presumably I still want to keep the same attribute, for example. So I'm not going to go ahead and use the other one, because that will kind of break the chain and not get me the 150 points bonus. So now I'll actually just focus up on the torso for that one over here. And that should pretty much be a wrap here. So let me do this one over here, and then do this, and then last one I'll just use this one to camp for amazing, and bam. So down up here I can do the same matching part as well. So now I'll be using the Ixia, because I have used that for the alternative attribute as well. So we can do this one right now. Ixia, the other attribute should be, where's it at? Do I not have an Ixia? This, okay, it's right here. So gonna use this one right here, and then I'll gain another 200. So that's pretty much like the repeating procedure that we'll be doing. So let me check the high firepower, and I just want to start things out by filtering the PTS, and I'll see what we are looking at. So it looks like that we actually do have a lot. So now I'll filter out by the part pool over here and see. Ooh, we actually do have quite a bit, so that's actually very good. Ooh, the torso not too good, but the head part was definitely very intriguing as well. So ooh, okay, that looks good. Ooh, I'll actually use this one for now, just for the plain example for you guys. So I'll using the big scale Barpedo Sport form. I'll be using the big scale enhanced double Zeta. This one's gonna be the big scale L strike, and there you guys can see with 3-part fill up, I'm having an extra 50 already. And then we'll do Freedom, that's going to be a Sokai parts, and then last but not least we have the Helios, that's going to be a Sokai tier part as well. So down over here I have 150% or 150 points because they are the same part. So down here, like down at the free section, what I'll be doing, I'll presumably doing the same thing again. So I'll actually filter out by the PTS, and then I'll do this one first, leg part, and then PTS, and bam. So I had myself a I forgot, this one over here, right? And then I had the big scale Freedom, right? And then I also have the L strike. Where is the L strike at? I don't see it. Oh, I have this one as well. And then I also have so I got the Helios. Oh, Barpedos Barpato's leg. Where are you at? Well, L-strip right there, and then Barpato's leg right over here. So, as you guys can see, I was able to get a 700 bonus points. So, limited time, that is only if you summon during that week, you get the extra limited time parts. But if you don't summon, this is definitely the best way to kind of handle your parts right there. So now all we need is 3 different attributes, and then we're set. That is pretty much how you want to do it, and we're racking up to almost 3,000 already. So that is looking very, very good. So last but not least, let me filter this one by the PTS again. And then we shall see what we have. So it looks like only the same Goku for this one over here. So that's not looking good at all. So I don't want to sacrifice for that, right? That's something I don't want to do, because that will literally kind of like ruin the score. So unfortunately for this one over here, I will only use the same type parts, you know, kind of unfortunate right there, I guess. So this one is looking pretty good, I guess. This one, slightly better. I think there's more 6 parts. This one, about the same. So I would actually use this one over here. Just use this and do this one right there. And then this one, oh, I can actually get one. All right, I'll just take that one for now and call it a day. Do I have the arm? Do I actually have another Sengoku, the build project version, or no? I don't know. That's why I need to check right now and see. I actually do not. I don't actually have it. So right there, that's pretty much gonna be a wrap. So I don't really have that. So that's unfortunate. So I think I just need to get, you know, a few more level 99 parts, and then that should be pretty much it. So I'm just gonna randomly not pick the plus 200. Obviously gonna pick something like this, just max out level 99, this one over here, and then one more over here, and you know, one more over there. All right, and that's pretty much it. So in terms of how the actually operator base works, that's pretty much what you need to do. Basically, if you just follow this format over here, you guys should be able to get some pretty nice, you know, great bonus over here, despite the fact that I don't really have any let's say limited time parts added on over here, but you guys can definitely still benefit from a same name different attribute. So it just really depends what kind of box you're looking at. For me personally, I have been playing for like a good while, so I am able to accumulate a lot of parts just upgrading to level 99. And just if you just basically do the mango set every week, if you just upgrade them to level 90 and then you just push it a little bit further to level 99, for example, that's pretty much a good way for you to get the additional 9 points. But I will have to say, if you have parts up to level 90 already, that should be a very significant point amount for you guys already. So that's gonna be pretty much it in terms of how the operator base works in terms of like the new meta, I guess, you know, for your 3v3. So if I were to multiply this by 3 over here, I'll roughly get about 10,000 points up here. So I will have to say 10,000 to 12,000 is pretty much a good margin for like a player that is not able to summon on a good week, for example, or just not able to get a limited time parts. So I think that should be pretty much it. So do let me know, how do you guys feel about the operator base being used in terms of like determining your overall score for your just your 3v3 score. So that being said, that's gonna be pretty much it, and I will catch you guys all on the next one.